The title of this F1 game is a little bit weird. Okay, World Grand Prix Pole to Finish might seem perfectly normal to you. But in Japan, the title of this game is almost always written out in English. I'm not sure why that is. It's got katakana right there on the title screen. But in my guidebooks and on Wikipedia and on other websites, it's just written out in English. F1 racing has turned out to be a surprisingly busy subgenre. And you wouldn't expect a whole lot from Data East as they step into it. However, I think I can make a pretty good argument that Pole to Finish is the best F1 game we've seen so far. I have one problem with the game, and it is a big problem, but the technical quality and the feel of the racing in this one is actually pretty good. The World Grand Prix in the title refers to a series of 16 races, and they are all real-world racecourses once again. In fact, they're the exact same ones that were used in Nakajima Satoru F1 Hero. So there's actually a direct comparison available for this game. When you start out, you're given the choice of 2 different practice modes, or competing in the Grand Prix. The difference between the 2 practice modes is if there's cars on the track or not. The practice modes also have an option for number of players, but only 1 player can race at a time. All you can really do to compete in 4-player mode is compare your times on the track. For practice mode, you can also select how many laps you want to do, and how many points you want to apply to your car. Pole to Finish is another one of those games where as you do better, you get points, and you can upgrade the vehicle. You can upgrade your speed, acceleration, durability, your suspension, which is really your handling in this case, how fast your pit crew operates, and your turbo, which for some reason uses the Greek letter alpha. An annoying quirk of the interface is that A selects, B goes back, and you have to set things using left and right. So despite the layout of the list, you have to use left and right to pick which track you want to race on. While racing, A accelerates, B brakes, up and down shift, and when you're in top gear, pressing up activates your turbo. You have a certain amount of time that you can run your turbo for based on your turbo stat, and you can replenish that by pitting. In the practice modes, you can also hit select to stop practicing. In Grand Prix mode, before you race, you're given the option to review the track and improve your car. You can also practice the track for up to 99 laps, and when you feel that you're ready, you can go to qualify. Qualifying runs are done on an empty track with no turbo, and they are a single lap that you perform. How well you do in the qualifying run determines your position at the start of the race, and then you get into the racing, and here's where my big problem is. All of the races in Grand Prix mode are extremely long, at least 16 laps. You can expect a lap to take about a minute to a minute and a half. It takes a very long time to complete a race. When you do finish, you get your points for the race, which are determined by how well you did, and then you automatically move on to the next one. You can expect a game of Pole to Finish to last about 6 hours. Now that said, the game does have a battery save, so you're not required to do it in one sitting. But I feel like the game would be improved with a few different difficulty levels. Say a 5-lap race for beginners, and then going up to longer races for players who want something more. The actual racing is pretty good. I like the way that the courses are represented. The turns tend to be sharp and fast rather than long and slow. The other drivers are incredibly aggressive though. They will ram you off the road. A lot. They're so aggressive I'd actually count that as another negative against the game. There isn't a whole lot you can do when somebody flies up behind you and then knocks you off the road. During the race you'll see the palette change. I feel like it's a nod to how long the races are. Eventually you reach sunset. Pole to Finish doesn't use the incremental steering that we've seen from a few racing games lately. When you hit left and right, you're pushing that wheel as far to the left and right as you can. But with how fast the curves fly by, I actually think it works better this way. I don't need to do a gentle turn when the turn lasts less than 2 seconds. I've got to say that Pole to Finish is the best looking, best feeling racing game that we've seen on the Famicom so far. The only thing that makes me reach for Highway Star in preference to it is how long it takes to complete a race. Being able to complete a race in 3 to 5 minutes is just more fun.